We are off with another episode of Who's Your Dad of the Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, reigning champion of toothpaste chicken. It's Zach Elias. What's up, buddy?
I am the champion of toothpaste chicken. Undefeated. I will wring that thing out like you wouldn't believe.
You know I can't do the toothpaste right now without thinking about that every time.
Yeah, now you calculate your drops, and you'll hear from the other room when you're like half asleep, "You son of a bitch," and you just lay there in bed chuckling if you know what she's busy about. Yeah, it's a voyage to go to the closet.
Or come out.
Whatever gets you there.
Who's Your Dad of the Podcast? Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. We're having fun with this. People, tell somebody. If you're having fun, share the episode. We always appreciate the love and support. If you hate us, also share the episode. I
love hate. Hate me. Bring it.
Don't hate the player. Hate the game. Make it rain.
Any game. Hate it all.
We got a fun one planned today. Episode 144. Calling this one Victory Laps because I have a couple to take. But before we get into that.
I'm notorious for any of this. My wife's in sick day. Somebody had a bad day over there.
Oh, are we allowed to talk about that? Because I posted.
Talk about it. You can't publicize it, but nobody's listening.
I'm pretty sure your in-laws definitely listen to this episode.
Yeah, but they know at this point.
Zach, why don't you tell everybody what you are drinking for tonight's episode?
I got another. Because someone had a bad day, I'll play your game, you rogue. A little something.
You still said it wrong.
You had a bad day.
Something.
It's for you today. It's something. Tomorrow, it's gonna be something else.
Zach and I text back and forth.
But you had a tough day. So.
Maybe I didn't have the best day today. First off, I always bring the chi on these blowy episodes, governor.
I don't know what any of that means. What could be bad about a physical therapist's day? Did some guy's upper thigh not massage properly? I mean, what are we doing here?
Dude, you just have patients sometimes that were totally healthy in May, and now they're talking about hospice, and it's just sad, and you watch the families go through it, and they're looking at you with tears in their eyes, and they're like, can you help? And you have to say, I'll try, knowing you're lying to their face and be like, no, he gonna die.
Yikes.
Yeah.
It's a tough day.
You want me? Oh, nicest family ever. You want me to keep going, or are we ready to do this episode?
We could do both.
Zach, I got a fun one. It is Cape May Brewing Company Bay Days Seasonably Sour Ale with sea salt, lime, and cherry, 4.7% alcohol. Take a look at that beauty.
Yeah, that looks like something.
And if you look at the logo there, I actually didn't even realize this, but this made my long list of Pishadoo of the week, and I actually axed it because I think it's really stupid.
You axed it what? It's going to be good forever. It's going to stay good.
If you look at the camera there, can you tell people what the logo is?
It's a man on a paddleboard with a dog and several birds and a sun.
Specifically supping. He's supping, right?
He's what?
Stand-up paddleboarding for the longest time. I thought it was
thing, supping?
SUP. That's what people abbreviate.
I get it, but like I've never used it.
Yeah, people post that all the time. I actually thought it's where you go around and say sup while you're paddleboarding, but apparently it just stood for stand-up paddleboarding. But there's the dog on there. I have seen so many pictures online or videos, whatever, where it's somebody surfing or paddleboarding with a dog on there, and the dog's like, oh my God, they're loving it. I think these dogs are terrified.
You want to know terrified dog? Last night at the Serena match, Martina Navratilova is sitting on a dog on her lap next to Mike Tyson. Kudos for whoever did the seating arrangements. Also, you had Bill Clinton next to Dr. Ruth. I bet they've got some stories to swap.
Release the Kraken!
Those two know what's going on. They know the way around a schwanz.
We just started the new Mike Tyson on Hulu. It's watchable.
I just got Hulu finally. My sister, shout out, who gave me her password with commercials.
Not great. So, start off. Have you seen Dope Sick yet?
No. We're on Murders in the Building, and I would be deeper into it if my wife wasn't on the vid. But here we are.
All right. So, Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
Dope Sick.
We'll get
and The Bear. You're welcome.
The Bear. I thought it was the otter.
The Bear is just trust me. I'm not saying anything more. It'll ruin it. Just it's a trust me show.
All right. I'll get to The Bear.
Best show of 2022.
All right. I'm into it.
8 half-hour episodes, más o menos.
Was it over forever? After 8?
It was so good they're bringing it back. It's so good, Zach. Like
nevertheless.
How many times
Cat's just drinking with us? I like that.
Yeah, he's supposed to.
Yeah, I know he's supposed to. But Aunt Marlene's not. Guess who died? I like that too.
We had one in our family today. I actually feel bad. We have a big family group chain. Today might have been the
I'm
first
not on
time. You don't want to be on it.
Oh, yes, I damn well do.
I'll add you. For the first time today, a family group chain text conversation started,
No, they're mad at them.
and there wasn't a yelling and screaming fight via text after 4 messages. First time, years.
Pretty good.
It's always something.
Don't let them know I'm at it, and I'll chime in at the right moment. Then I'll leave the group.
You're gonna hate being on this, but yes,
I love
it was my mom's first cousin's husband. It's not even worth getting into. It was one of those that, sorry, not sorry. Like, he was super old and super sick. Probably for the better. Also, not close.
Put that in the chat.
Like, at what point? No, this is getting into our rankings of when people die. And you're like, would they give me money? At what point do you go, I haven't seen you in 20 years. What do I care?
7 years.
7?
I starts to wane.
I think that's even a lot. A family member? A family member is 7 years?
Maybe. How much money would they give me?
Episode 144. Let's do your favorite thing, Zach. Why don't you explain to the listeners who don't know, what is a victory lap?
When you take a lap because you won, what the hell's a victory lap in this situation?
More in conversational sense.
Oh, when you just celebrate that you won. You kick back and it's a victory lap. We're good to go here. Just take the win.
Specifically when you're disagreeing about something is what I'm getting at. Or you're trying to make a point and then people kind of like don't agree with it. And you're like, and then you're right. And you come back and it's like gloating, right? Without being too obnoxious. Or I guess you can be pretty obnoxious.
It's not just as you won your victory lap.
Well, you and I both know that.
Yeah. I love a good victory lap. Depends what I'm right about, which is everything.
All right, let's get the first one out of the way. Last week, I brought up House of the Dragon. I think I called it the wrong name the whole show. I was like, House of the
Dragons, plural. It is. There's multiple dragons in there.
It's House of the Dragon, which
I
told you.
The House of Lannister. How'd they get so rich?
You know they're gonna do. They already did do like a Stark, like, oh, it's Rickon Stark, not the one who didn't zigzag, but his great grandfather.
Yeah,
maybe more. But House of the Dragon, I was 6 to midnight. That's what I said to you, and you're like, oh, please, not that great. Zach, ready for my victory lap?
Episode 2?
Episode 2 was dud, in my opinion. Well, a lot of talky, not a lot of walkie.
Yeah.
But after the first episode, it got like 10 million people. Still less than a Joe Rogan episode of pretty much anything. Already renewed for a second season.
Ugh. Can't these things just be one and done and be great? Everything should be one season and done and be great.
What's that terrible Amazon show? Eric's reading the book. I'm watching the thing. It's like 14 seasons. I don't even want that many.
No, I want Russian Doll, and I really only wanted one season of Russian Doll, though I was happy with number 2. Maybe she's fantastic.
Ipso facto, I'm over her.
Ipso facto, you still from SNL. They're making fun of her. So
she says it all the time. So there's my first victory lap. Are you ready for another one?
Yeah, sure. Nothing's phasing me today.
We talked about this forever ago. I brought it up as a Pishadoo candidate, and it was one of your, I don't care, or it's not a big deal. Your boy, who could have won, it's like the queen who never was, your boy who never was, Jared Kelenic. I brought this up forever ago that this asshole who was getting ready to start his major league career has his own brand. It's a J and a K. It's like the Tiger Woods logo, but different.
Like, just kidding.
Do you remember we talked about this?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember, last week, so what do I know?
Pre-baseball season. So for people who don't know, he was a highly touted number 1 overall draft pick. Did the Mets actually draft him, or they just had the pick and traded the pick?
I think they drafted him.
Okay, they drafted him. It was a trade where, Timmy Trumpets is doing great these days, so hallelujah. We'll see what happens.
There this week.
I know we talked about this last week.
Yeah, about a lot of things.
Kelenic, who starts his own brand, and I brought this up in Pishadoo of the week, and you were like, it's whatever. Good for him. He has his own brand. Zach, he stinks. He stinks. He's having
a lick.
They brought him up and J-Rod, they just gave the bag to. 2 hundo with the option to make 4, and Kelenic is in the minor leagues batting under the Mendoza.
Couldn't hit water if he found him a boat.
That's my victory lap. I remember being like, pump the brakes on your brand, mofo.
Yeah, he stinks. I'm still to get rid of him. I didn't think he was that great. Eric loved him. I didn't know he stinks.
I'm not sure if this isn't exactly a victory lap, but you brought up Agent Zero last week, and I think I also remember we were talking about the Wizards. And did you see what he said this week?
No.
All right. I know
And
a
he
lot.
said something. I didn't hear what he said though, but
did.
he did say stuff.
So let's make it simple for people who don't know a ton about basketball. He was a guy, maybe the guy, kind of back in the day, who never played in a meaningful game. I mean, he never sniffed in Eastern Conference Finals, I don't think. He came out this week and shat all over two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Giannis, who just won the NBA championship, 2 seasons ago. He went off on saying how he doesn't understand basketball and how he's not good at basketball. It was like, wait, what? It was one of those. I mean, he wins and he plays and he's good, but like he's not good. You're just going, what are you, an idiot?
Idiot.
This guy's
He's
so
gonna draw guns into a locker room. What are you, an idiot? Yes, he is.
Zach, you sent me an interesting text today because I was going back and forth and telling you about something, and I said how my roommate didn't laugh or didn't. What did we say? Julie didn't find something funny.
She finds nothing funny, and she's a terrible texter. Stinks at it.
The
Texts
worst.
as well as she drives. It's awful. No good.
Nishkit?
I don't know. I don't know the rules anymore.
I'm gonna quote. Julia has the sense of humor of a dead moth. I'll stop there. It's funny you bring that up because a lot of Saturdays. Look at it.
Busy doing what?
I'm happy she's watching this live, so I don't have to listen to this episode this weekend. Because I go through, I edit, we do this live, and Saturdays, a lot of times, Julia has been working. We will drive somewhere, and she's like, let's listen to the episode. Meanwhile, she chats over the whole thing. I have to be like, you missed a good part here. But this past week...
Everybody missed me say totem pole last week for the Native American guy. I thought it landed.
I'm happy you're happy.
I'm always happy.
So this past week, and this happened...
third together was great.
That was really good. I'm proud of that one. Zach, a lot of times we're driving, and I'm sitting there waiting for like one of my zingers, and it just goes in and out one ear. And I'm just like, oh, I thought that was pretty funny. And then we just keep driving, and she'll start chuckling. And every single time, do you know what she's laughing at? Do you know who she's laughing at?
I don't know, like Ali Wong or Taylor Swift or God knows what.
Maybe you should be paying attention. We're listening to our podcast.
Oh, I thought she zoned out and was like just chuckling about some Ali Wong joke a week ago. No, she loves me. What's not to love?
Loves you. She thinks you are so funny. And I always said it like this, like, you know, Julia got hit on the other day, and she was telling me this story, and I go, was he funny? She goes, no, he had no personality. I was like, I don't care if he was hung like a dinosaur. As long as he's not making you laugh harder than I am, God bless. So this past week,
I'm moving in hard. So you come here often. That's all I got.
This past week, we drove, and I sat there in silence. And every time she chuckled at something you said, I get one of these. Every time she chuckled at one of the things I said, I gave her the other hand. So it's funny today.
Man, I just watched The Princess Bride.
It's funny today that you said she has the sense of humor of a dead moth. Zach, last week's episode, as far as my roommate goes, you won 11-8.
That's a pretty close game. You got 19 chuckles out of her? That's not bad.
More a chortle than a chuckle.
The fuck's a chortle?
I'm not sure.
Chortle? I like it.
So
I don't hate it.
Zach, what are you going with? You know, are we taking a victory lap that you're not? She has no sense of humor, or are you gonna be like, well, she thinks I'm funnier than Alan?
Both. Little column A, little column B. The texting really gave me the red ass. In general, I'm sending gold to the both of you. Her, silence. Give me nothing. Stonewalling me. That bothers me. It's seething.
As Julia just pointed out in the chat, she said, roommate, ... Am I now the landlord? Zach,
yes.
This will be my last podcast as a resident of Roselle, New Jersey.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Sounds like you made it up.
This next week, I got a different setup. Call it a new studio if you want, but it is going to be a totally new look for Daddy on the podcast.
Yeah, well, it sounds like mommy is the landlord. I love that, by the way. That's the funny thing she said in a long time, like ever. But it's excellent. Top notch.
Last week after our episode, which you didn't complain too much that this was a quick turnaround. That's usually, it's a quick turnaround. It's a quick turnaround.
Well, we're supposed to do it tomorrow, but it's a quick turnaround because of me, because I'm home tonight.
I'm in
by
bed.
the way, I've also got to do a fantasy draft for a buddy of mine upstairs at 9 o'clock. Who the hell do you want me to take? Kickers, punters from the 80s? I'm taking anybody. I don't give a shit at all.
You just go with funny names. I'll give you one to draft already. The guy's name is Snoop Connor, I think. It was like a 7th round pick.
Perfect. That's my guy.
From Mays Landing, New Jersey.
I don't know where that is, but yeah, Snoop's my guy.
After last week's episode, I'm in bed. I'm just lying there. I'm just flipping through Twitter. And Zach, this was too good not to go. With zero context, Danny DeVito lost his fucking mind on Twitter. Let me just go ahead and read the comments to you. First, I'd rather fist a dog than be in a relationship. Piss my pants.
I saw that. Yeah.
Raise your hand if you fuck the devil. Crying emoji ×4. Next one, the future is female. Capital F on female. And then pee, pee, poo, poo. All one word. Let's head over there and boil their firstborn. I'm in there like, okay. Other than
national treasure.
Other than Trump, is there anybody else who can type something out and you read it in their voice and just die laughing?
Gilbert deceased, but no, other than that, no. That's the answer.
Do we have to protect Danny DeVito? He's a national treasure, right?
Treasure. So good. 4'8", he's a treasure.
I just can't stop thinking. Anytime he reads something or does anything, I just think about it in the like, Deandra, your breath's dog shit.
So good.
He's so fucking funny.
He's good. He's good in everything.
So, Zach, I have a ton. I wanted to leave extra time. We tend to fly through our Pishadoo of the Week candidates, and I wanted to leave some time so we could actually break down them.
If it's not the Southwest Airlines pilot, what are we doing? Is he on your list?
No, but go ahead. What did he do?
A Southwest Airlines pilot threatened to cancel a flight to Cabo. Essentially, I'll turn this car around because at least 2 people, maybe more, were airdropping nudes throughout the plane.
I saw that. He yelled at him. I did see that.
He yelled at them. I'll take this back. You won't have your vacation to Cabo. You stop with this airdrop junk. Love this guy. I
thought you have to be friends with somebody to airdrop something to them, or at least they have to.
iPhone. And it goes.
The best part of airdropping. Do you know the comedian Chris D'Elia?
Yes.
Who got very, very canceled for all types of statutory rape?
Mm-hmm. But that's stopping is Zoe going in the other room because she's not loving this.
He had a whole bit on one of his specials about how he used to just airdrop dick pics at people on the plane and just be like this, which is very funny, but gets very weird when this guy gets in all types of trouble for these perverted stuff.
Yeah, well, as long as Matt Ariza doesn't do it, it'll be all right.
Oh, my God. All right, Zach, I just texted you something to save time because I know you got places to be. What are you looking at that I just texted you?
Right at the computer. It better not be your airdrop. It's a picture of a map of as I know it.
All right.
Pretty much.
I want you to take them. I saw this on the talk, and I thought this was too good.
Countries in there. I need a USSR in there.
Zoom out. Just go. All I want you to do is to look at the Western Hemisphere with Canada, U.S., and South America. Okay? You see it? I saw this on the talk. Zach, take your phone and rotate it to the left so that Brazil is on the right and Canada is on the left. What do you see?
Yeah. What do you mean, what do I see?
Look at the colors. Look at the picture of all the countries.
Okay.
You don't see anything?
I don't understand the question.
Look at the picture. Look at the colors of if you turn it sideways. I saw this on TikTok. It blew my
sideways because I've got a real phone. Why doesn't it
lock the screen? Anyway, what do you see on my phone right here? What does that look like?
It looks like nothing.
You're out of your mind. You don't see a body. You don't see an animal?
An elephant?
Okay, you're an idiot. For people at home, have fun with this. It looks, if you look at the colors and you look at everything, Argentina is yellow, Brazil is the head. That is a duck.
Now I see it. It's a duck that's been beheaded by the Panama Canal.
Look at that. Shelby, not a real blonde, sees a bird. Shell, did you know that? Or did you just do it right now? Well, she probably saw it.
Hey, Shell, the eyebrows don't lie.
Terrible. All right, Zachy. Do you got anything else, or can we go on to Pishadoo of the Week?
I don't know. Yeah, I had some stuff, but that was about the pilot really got me.
I did see that.
I hated it. That Gorbachev died, so that happened. And
didn't know he was alive.
Others said, I don't know either. Speaking of not alive, Josh Rosen got cut by the Browns today. There goes a career that's just dead.
Six team chosen Rosen. I did hear that.
Good boy. Yeah.
All right, Pishadoo of the Week, Zach. I got 11 candidates, which I know you're thrilled about. Let's go. We'll go through these. First one, my sister and her husband and the 2 boys went to the Ravens-Commanders preseason game. They left before the best part of the game. Did you hear what happened to the mascot?
No.
So the Ravens
Falcons, you see the Braves mascot pummeled some kids at some ball game in Atlanta, the Falcons game?
No.
Yeah, they were doing a mascot.
Why was the Braves mascot?
That
happens all the time.
The mascots with them. He mowed the kids down like it was Billy Madison. Go on.
So the Ravens used to have 3 Raven mascots, Edgar, Allen, and Poe. And then budget cuts happened. They got rid of Edgar and Allen. Now they just have Poe. This past week's preseason game, Poe had to be carted off the field because he tore his ACL.
It's fantastic.
Zach, who cares? Put another asshole in the suit and let's go. That's just the worst story ever.
No one can do that. It's not rocket science. You flap around a bird suit. What do you think he makes?
I bet you slays. You want to come back and see my bird head?
I bet you he does better than he should. I'll do it.
I hear it stinks.
No,
All right. We talked about the dog surfing, which I did put on my list. Next one, the New York Post.
Any surfing dogs that he should do?
I just hate it. It bothers me. I think it was dog. My dog would be terrified. Terrified. He'd be like, oh, 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 oh. New York Post posted an article that somebody came up with the idea to solve world hunger. It would be called making worm burgers.
Worm burgers. Ew.
Taking like worms and putting them into burgers to solve world hunger.
Like it would work, but it's gross. So essentially what they're saying is that starving people are just picky eaters because they don't want to eat the worms that they see. That's the implication.
I either work harder or I just kill myself. I'm not eating worms for dinner. It's just not a thing.
Right. So you're a picky eater like the starving people. That's the implication of your article. Yeah, go on.
I saw this online right after I saw the Danny DeVito. This one actually made me go, what in the hell? J-Lo, who I don't have nice things to say, is going on tour. She asked a ton of dancers. She asked them all their signs. And anybody with a Virgo sign, she didn't even say, you're fired. She turned to her assistant and was like, fire them. Fire her. What's your sign? Aquarius. What's your sign? Virgo. Fired.
Your Grace.
Your Grace. Psychotic.
That's insane.
And it's one of that's up there. Which
I don't know what's going to top that. And by the way, Ron Katz, yes, I would be Mr. Met with giving the finger like Mr. Met does too.
Saw a guy online. I don't have a Tesla. I don't know how they work, but they have keyless remote entry or at least a chip or something. To get in because you get close to the door, then the door handle comes out. That much I know. Some asshole got his chip implanted in his left hand. So every time he reaches his hand out, that's what does it. What the hell is wrong with people?
He's Iron Man. So can he open other Teslas with it?
Just his own, man. But he had surgery to implant a Tesla chip? What a weirdo.
Yeah. It's still not worse than J-Lo.
Next candidate.
Great, but...
Another basketball guy, James Harden, who is very, very, very on his way down from being whatever he used to be. To his credit, he's taking less money, restructuring his deal, so he's not a real asshole like Westbrook and some of those other people or Durant are doing. He's actually going down very peacefully. He had a birthday the other day. He has vowed to come back strong and have a good year. He's at a birthday on a boat, at which point they give him his cake. He then takes the cake and nonchalantly pushes the whole thing in the water because he's serious about getting in shape for this season.
So he's not a Wormburger guy either, huh? Because he's not starving.
A whole cake? Are you kidding me?
Was the chef who made it there? Because that's just such a slap in the face. I watched Cake Boss with Zoe. Those guys work hard.
Next candidate, W, who nobody, I don't care if you're Republican, liberal, conservative, whatever you are, nobody thinks W was a great president. Agreed?
Take him back.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
he doesn't have enough.
By the way, underrated president, his father.
Agreed. I agree.
History's gonna look kindly on underrated. Yeah.
Read my lips. W has decided to do a masterclass online about leadership. A guy born on third base who was horrible and caused so many problems is doing a leadership class. Why?
I don't know. I wish he was commissioner of baseball, not president. Still, take him back. Selig too. I would take him as president.
Next candidate. This was my personal favorite. I know you brought up the Southwest thing. Did you hear that there was an Air France flight that had to be emergency landed because the two pilots in the cockpit got into a fist fight mid-flight?
That's amazing.
Nobody knows when it was over. Dude,
they're not telling.
They're not saying what happened, but I think that's really
that's close quarters, man. You got to be close with that guy. By the way, how does it work? You and the co-pilot, is that like Maverick and Goose? Are they a team, or do they switch it around?
I have no idea.
Because if it's the same guy over and over again, yeah, you're gonna take a swing at the guy at some point.
Next candidate, closer for the Yankees, who are just getting decimated, and I couldn't care less. Aroldis Chapman, who has fallen from grace to his credit.
Been a hot minute for the closer role.
Everybody else is dead. They literally have lost like four.
I picked up Wandy.
So Chapman has been placed on the IL, or at least he's not pitching for a little bit. Did you hear why?
Mm-mm.
Leg infection from getting a tattoo.
Of who?
I don't know. The face was like he actually is missing games because he got a tattoo mid-season, and what an asshole.
He wasn't playing so many games when he didn't have the tattoo. Go nuts, kid. Get a Gorbachev on your leg.
Going back to the sky, I got an advertisement the other day for Experience Zero Gravity. And I was like, well, that kind of sounds cool. And I start clicking, and there's not a lot of information. But if you dig deep enough, one can experience zero G, like the astronauts, for only $8,500.
Can you pony up for me to do it? I want to go. Mama's got some money, huh?
No. That's insane that they're putting advertising on Facebook. What are they doing? $8,500 for this experience? That's like $2,000, $1,000. Still a lot of money, but like you start thinking,
I'm there.
85, right? 1,000. You think about it.
8,500. I'm getting hair plugs first.
Hair plugs.
Says you.
Last candidate. This is getting swept under the rug.
4 candidates ago.
So bad that Aaron Donald, they're doing these joint practices. Did you see that he got into a fight with the Bengals team, grabbed 2 helmets, and was swinging them at people? And has so far, did you hear what his discipline is?
Nothing, right?
Nothing. They're letting the Rams maybe give him like $10,000 or something. Nothing.
Yeah, well, Myles Garrett was provoked. And it's Aaron Donald. And fuck the Bengals. Meanwhile, speaking of the Bengals, I got a draft for a friend of mine in 2 minutes. So, there might be some noise, but, I'm on the clock. Let's go. You can pick for him, too, if this thing goes long. I don't give a shit.
Poe tears his ACL, dog surfing in general, warm burgers to eat, J-Lo cuts the dancer for not being the right sign, Tesla implant, James Harden throws a cake, W is doing a masterclass, the 2 Air France pilots fighting, Chapman, IL because of
I find that charming, by the way, the Air France people.
Tattoo, zero gravity, only 8,500, and Aaron Donald swinging all the helmets.
Everything in me wants to go zero gravity because that's obscene for 8,500. And Ron Katz is right. The chip man is very tacky, but it's not even a discussion. It's J-Lo.
It's J-Lo.
It's horrible. Just cause. And what arrogance. What is she even paying these dancers anyway that she's, no, you. Yes, you. No, not you. What is she paying them? $20 to go dance? How much do those guys make, you think? Like before you're Nick Cannon.
Didn't she marry one? Was that her?
No, she married 12. No, it was Mariah. That was Mariah? Nick Cannon. I just said Nick Cannon.
No, I think J-Lo's first fiance may have been a dancer. I know Britney did.
Yeah, they all do. Those guys can move. I can't move like that. Can you? Can you dance?
Better than you,
shit. How do I make this go away? Sound off. That was fantastic.
I can't hear it.
I just heard the Monday Night Football music blasting in my ears.
Ba, 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 ba.
Anyway, that's exactly it.
Moving on to trivia. Yeah. I got something fun. Now, I've been talking about this space blast. Honestly, couldn't give a shit. But it's making all types of news. The Artemis one. Every time I hear Artemis, I think of Sunny. That's really it.
Oh, yeah. Artemis is amazing. She's not a bleached asshole.
So for me, I think this whole trip is stupid. They're spending so much money to literally do what we did forever ago, but they're going to include somebody of color and a woman. That's really the new pitch of this whole thing. You heard the launch got delayed, right? They didn't go off yesterday?
Yeah, I heard.
So as far as this launch goes, they're bringing I thought it was a porcelain Snoopy, but looking into it further, it may have been a stuffed animal Snoopy doll. And I just thought that was stupid. I saw it on the TV. Then I looked into it. Apparently, one of the Apollos was nicknamed Snoopy. One was Charlie Brown. So it's kind of an homage to that. I think Snoopy is one of the really overrated things that have ever existed.
Wow. I just got Cooper Kupp at 5. Good for this guy.
As soon as he has a quarterback with an elbow, then you should be okay.
That'll be fine. PPR.
Zach, today I'm testing your knowledge on Snoopy.
I like Snoopy.
Question number 1. What type of dog is Snoopy?
Beagle.
Wow. I actually had no idea. Yeah, it's a spotted white beagle. I sat there. I was like, what type of dog is he? Because when you think of a beagle, I tend to think of Seattle Josh's dog, Morgan Beagle.
That's exactly what I think of Seattle Josh.
Question the second. What book did Snoopy try to read one word at a time? I don't know how well you know Snoopy, but you could probably just think about this. You referenced it like last week or the week before. What would be insane for Snoopy back in the 60s, 70s to be like, I'm going to read this book one word at a
the
time?
Iliad?
The other one.
The Odyssey?
No, the other long. War and Peace was correct. That's why I saw this and it was just funny because you always go Iliad. I always say it's not War and Peace. Question next 30. Next question. Snoopy has an original painting by what iconic artist hanging in his doghouse? Beth would know this, right?
Maybe. In his art history. Yeah. Does he have the dogs playing poker? Who the hell painted that thing?
I actually don't know the painting. Guess again.
I don't know. Dali?
Okay. It was Van Gogh.
Rant? Van Gogh?
It's like the only one that I would ever guess. All right. This one's just for me. Probably more my family. Question number 4. A staple in homes across Pikesville, Maryland. Snoopy was featured on what homemade food making device?
I've never made food in my life. I ordered cheap Chinese food for my daughter tonight.
This is great. The fact that my sister's going to get this, and you're going to be like, I don't know.
She gets nothing.
Shelby definitely had one, and we definitely had one.
A waffle maker.
Dessert.
What if I know? a cupcake maker. I don't know how to make dessert. Oh, he did an ice cream thing. That kid's ice cream maker. I had that.
Kid's ice cream maker?
Ices, like shaved ice.
Phone a friend, Tanta Marlene.
Snowball machine.
It was a snow cone maker.
Snowball machine? That's what Allison was called?
Jesus Christ, that's my sister.
I know, right? I almost didn't, but then I did. Go on.
Last question. In 2016, a Snoopy museum opened in what city? A, Berlin. B, Denver. C, Oslo. D, Tokyo.
What are my choices again?
Berlin, Denver, Oslo, Tokyo.
Berlin.
Correct answer is Tokyo.
Why? The Japanese love anything. Square watermelon, Snoopy, who knows, man?
I just got a text from Matthew Lee, who's in Turks and Caicos. He's sitting at dinner. Drake is at the table next to him.
And he's listening to this?
No, he's just texting me like, holy shit, I'm sitting next to Drake.
Let Drake's hear our episode. Tell Drake to listen.
Yeah, I really should say this. Get him to download BYD. Or if he wants to be a guest.
Yeah.
Boozer Daddy the podcast. Thanks for listening to tonight's episode. This was a fun one. We lost Zach at the end, but that's okay. He's really not paying attention.
I'm here.
Like audio wise, you are, but if people watch the video, it's just a lot of like scrolling, looking.
Oh yeah, because I'm trying to do the draft. I gotta know
Zach.
I'm on the clock. But I'm listening. I'm in. I'm here.
Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in labor. I should be playing golf unless I get the vid or the Rona, and then God help us all.
Oh, that's the last thing I wanted to talk about as far as taking a victory lap. We're talking today about getting the vid, and Zach makes a point to go, can't get me. Guess what? It's coming for you.
It's not coming for me. You're coming for me.
We out.